shout out to Ohio State, though, right? I mean, your Buckeyes took care of business this past season, winning the national championship. Did you get a chance to check out any of the games, man? Playoff stuff like that, man?
So, obviously, I didn't get to check any games out during the season.
Right.
So, with the playoffs, I wanted to be able to make sure I got to spend some time with my kids.
Yeah.
So, I end up watching the games in Texas with my kids. Yeah. And then the national championship game, I end up watching it here at home. I love going down to those events. I love spending time and being at those events. But, man, they can be pretty costly.
Yeah.
Costful. So, or expensive. Let me say it like that. Expensive. So it's just, I just wanted to enjoy the moment. I didn't want to spend no unnecessary money that I didn't need to spend. So I just kind of enjoyed it. I had a good time, and and I was just as happy as anybody at that stadium. I just didn't go.
No, I love that right there, man. Now, with that being the case, we do got to ask about two of your guys, though, man. Will Howard, Jack Sawyer, not anything NFL related, but just strictly, their Ohio State time. What'd you see about them, man? Or did you have any type of, relationship with those dudes, being that you're an alum from the university?
So I know Jack's a good dude, and then I don't know Will, but when Ohio State got Will, a lot of people was like, "Why we got Will Howard?" And I didn't know Will personally, but I knew what to say about him.
Mm-hmm.
I knew he's a winner.
Yeah.
I think even Omar said that in his interview, or Coach T said that in an interview.
Yeah.
But I was even telling people that before he got drafted. Wow. I was just like, the one thing that you could say about Will Howard is that he's a winner. I understand he lost 2 games this year, and I know a lot of people talk about when he slid and all that type of stuff. And I'm gonna be honest with the Team Up North game. I'm gonna put that one on the play calling a little bit more.
Okay. Yeah.
I feel like Will's trying to run the ball when our strength was more in the air. Mm-hmm. And I understand our strength. We had 2 running backs get drafted, but there was a stat that said whoever wins the run game in that game wins the game 90% of the time.
Yeah.
So their strength, they had 2 guys get drafted in the top 20.
Mm-hmm. Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant.
Yeah, it's like they have 2 guys get drafted in the top 20. I'm not running the ball.
Yeah, hey, look, one's in the A gap, one's in the B gap. Yeah.
And their top 2 corners were both.
Will injured. Johnson. Oh, yeah.
So just, to me, I feel like at that moment, that's when you gotta throw it.
Yeah.
So, I love Ryan Day, so I'm not saying hating on him, but everybody make mistakes here and there. You know what I'm saying? So
that's real.
Like I make mistakes. So Coach Myers said, when we lost to Michigan State, he should have gave Carlos the ball. You know what I'm saying? When they lost to Michigan State before, he said he should gave Zeke the ball. So it's just everybody have mistakes, and it happens. Yeah. So, but one thing about Will, a lot of people don't realize, before he went to Ohio State, he won the Big 12 championship at Kansas State. And the funny thing about it at Kansas State, that's when Texas and Oklahoma was still in the Big 12.
Yep.
So the thing I try to tell people is like, bro, Will, he's a winner.
Dog, yeah.
He's a winner. Like Kansas State, they ain't got the dogs that Oklahoma and
not at all.
And
not
Texas
at all.
got. No, they ain't got that. But he figured out how to win it. So to me, I got a lot of respect for Will. And then when it comes to Jack, he's a guy that's a hard worker, bro. Like he's a 5-star coming out, but he's a guy that was a hard worker. Yeah. And he grind for everything he get, and he a good person. So it's really good that we got them, and then both of them was captains for the team.
Right,
so
that's the thing. I see them like that.
I think
leaders.
I think that's something good to have on our team, because we have a young team on the defensive side. We have a lot of leaders, but I just think in general, as our team gets older, we need some younger leaders, and I think both of those guys can be that.
Yeah.
So